out there, old friends, a world war. And it's not about who's got the most bullets, it's about who controls the information. What we see and hear, how we work, what we think, it's all about the information.
You want a war? You got a war. And there's no looking back. There's no forgetting. And there's no forgiving. I can see it all clearly now. The more we build, the more haters try to tear it down. The more we build. Now you listen to me. All of you hoodlums don't own these streets. We got a market seasons.
Well, here we are. It's your boy Covert Radio. I got another special surprise for you tonight. You know, I've been saying this for about 4 years now that the censorship is coming. It's coming. And it's here. They are removing all voices of opposition. Welcome to the Communist States of America. This is Covert Radio, and it is February the 23rd, 2021. We're in for a jam-packed show, so get your notebooks ready and go about your business. This is talk radio format, and we have something on the screen we need you to look at. We'll say go ahead and take a look at the screen. And I do say we because guess what? Guess what? If you caught a couple of my other shows, I had a guest host. This is an old-time friend of mine that had some startling news today. I was very upset for him because I can only imagine how this would feel. I did, I guess I did sort of, I could relate to this feeling because I too was banned and removed, silenced from YouTube back in 2018, and that was part of a false flag campaign and whatever else. But True Man is here again tonight, so I'd like to bring him onto the mic. There he is. What's up, bud? What's up? You know, I didn't know for sure if what you sent me. Actually, let me break this down. This is how it went. You know, let me say this, and I want to be crystal clear because every day there are new voices, there are new channels, there are new programs, there is people vying for your time. And several years ago, I covered the Department of Labor and Stats. I talked about what is considered your free time. And True Man, what would you estimate is your, I mean, right now, because I know you're unemployed, he's an unemployed truck driver right now, but during your working time, say your work and everything, what would you consider your downtime to be? Like, how much time would you have to do what you want to do? And I'm saying on your average night.
Like an honest day after work, how much time do I actually have?
Right, yeah. And I'm saying you got to include gaming, watching television, getting on the internet. So how much time roughly would you say on your average work day?
Well, it's changed since I switched jobs. I mean, back whenever I was driving in the oil field, I worked 12-hour shifts. So 12 hours of doing whatever I needed to do for my work, hoping I don't get stuck on a well bed.
Right.
Then you obviously drive back to wherever your truck yard is, park your truck, get in your car, go home, and working night shift doing that. Night shift doing 12-hour shifts, you're done. I was getting done at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So,
and then what? You really don't even feel like doing anything at that point.
I mean, at that point, you really
It's just you want to relax. You don't want to.
You want to eat, shower, go to sleep because you got to get back up in about 6-8 hours and get ready to go do it again.
Right. Well, about 4 years ago, I haven't looked recently. Maybe it was 3 years ago, but they were talking about on the average, your average American has, I think it was around an hour of downtime a day, meaning like this is time where you watch television, your program. I mean, obviously, for some people it's going to be more, for some people it's going to be less, but it's averaging an hour. And there are so many people now vying for your attention. There are bunches of celebrities with their podcast, and they want to get your attention. And you have your paid, mouthpieces that want to clamor for your attention. And, we're talking people that are very easily considered controlled opposition.
Oh, for sure.
Full spectrum dominance is what the Hegelian dialect called for. And full spectrum meaning that, we're going to give you the information, we're going to tell you what's going on, but at the same time, we're controlling the course of that information. And I said recently that, the most dangerous people are people that lie to you, people that tell you the truth 99% of the time.
Right.
Because what happens is you learn to trust them. You learn to, heed their warnings. You learn to take in their information and make it a part of you. Because I'm also a firm believer of that, disregarding all of our programming, all the purposeful programming that we are victims of every single day.
Right.
And the repression of free speech, the repression of independent thought, the entire education system is all based around that. In fact, I have a video I'm going to play here in a few moments that relates to that. There's no gauge. I mean, there's no truer gauge than in which you're inputting into yourself, which you choose to watch. And again, there's so many people vying for your time. They want your attention. But I'm going to tell you something. And please take this into consideration. I want you to go to YouTube and clear your cookies, whatever, reset your phone or your tablet or your device, your computer, whatever you got to do. And I want you to type in Covert Radio. And this is going to prove to you I'm shadow banned, because YouTube won't even finish the radio part or finish the name itself. Covert Radio used to be able to search COVER and then Covert Radio would show up in YouTube. You used to be able to search COVERT space R, Covert Radio would be automatically filled in. A lot of those times I would be associated with the word Tommy Sotomayor. So, but now if you do that, and again, this is just proof that I'm shadow banned. YouTube will never recommend any of my videos. They will never recommend my channel. I will never gain any new viewers unless you share this content. And I'm going to tell you something. If you think you're doing something and you're not shadow banned, you're a joke. You understand what I just said? If you are not shadow banned right now, you are a joke. You're wasting people's time. Real content is being silenced. Real voices are being silenced. Real channels of truth are being silenced. And we're being taken away hour by hour by hour by hour. They are removing all voices of opposition to their communist takeover and the overthrow of America.
Facts.
This is going to continue right now. I'm going to show you the depth of what we're talking about. I want you guys to take a look at your screen. Now, obviously, some of the information here has been redacted to keep anonymity. Again, this is True Man, my buddy that's going to co-host with me tonight. We've done a few shows. He called me earlier today. He was shook up, you could tell, And guess what? I almost knew exactly what he was going to say as soon as he said Facebook. Only truth sayers are being silenced right now. And we're talking tens of thousands of followers, friends, groups, content, images, memes, gone, erased, gone, silenced, just gone. Walk the folks through what happened today when you tried to log into your YouTube account, or I'm sorry, your Facebook account. Now, you had stated that you noticed something on your phone. Your phone did something a little bit weird. Take all the listeners from there.
All right, so going about my life, went to the stores, just getting some like run-of-the-mill stuff, munchies or whatever. On my way home, I'm getting close. I'm like, all right, cool. Offload all this stuff, unpack it, and get ready to relax and go about my night like a normal American. So I pull out my phone because as a world we live in today, most of us spend a lot of our life on our phone if we have that time to. I open up Facebook. It does like a quick screen flash. I'm like, what the hell is this? Never experienced this before. Go back into it. And it's this is the Facebook app that I'm talking about. It brought out to a page that I have never seen before. Basically, it's like, try to log in. Okay, so I try to log in. Your account has been disabled. I'm like, disabled for what?
Now let me stop you there. Did you have maybe an inkling that your account has been hijacked? Because I know that happens a lot on Facebook.
No, that was my first idea. I'm like, oh, did my account get hacked? Is someone like blocking me from entering my own account, sending just weird shit to random people on my Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, can I hurry up and try to get into Messenger or send messages out like, hey, if you get something from me that doesn't seem like me, that I've been hacked? And that wasn't it. I was out of Messenger. I was out of my account. So I'm like, well, let me try restarting my phone. Maybe, because I've had similar situations where it seemed like I got kicked out of my account. Then I just restarted because due to networking and me not having service on my cell phone.
Mm-hmm. So
restart my phone. Try to get back into Facebook. Same weird familiar page, well, not familiar, but unfamiliar page that I've never seen. So it says, your account has been disabled. Please log in through a computer and follow the steps. So
now let me stop you there, because again, I can relate to this. You know what I mean? I lost Covert Radio. It was completely under false pretenses. This was an attack on Covert Radio. There was some men trying to protect their internet daddy, and they got together and did a false flag campaign. This was all brought, again, there was I had an account review done. I have a connection now at YouTube since then, really, and I've had really no problems since then, other than being shadow banned. But again, that could probably be an algorithm doing that. I'm not saying somebody physically is shadow banning Covert Radio. It could be an algorithm. But I know that feeling. I know when you try to log in and it's like, wait, it took me 10 minutes to realize what happened when I lost Covert Radio. So, I can relate to this. I can definitely relate. But there is no... what I'm saying is you've already found out that there's zero possibility of you getting your account back, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm like, all right, well, it says follow these steps. Let's see if I could appeal or whatever the decision is that took my account. See, I was mainly trying to find out if Facebook was going to give me any information of why my account was taken.
Yeah, that's I know what you mean.
Or disabled. And nothing was told to me.
Well, yes, sir. You have this right here. You violated here for the folks here. If you're looking at your screen, there was your account has been disabled for violating Facebook's community standards. Now, this is a link to the Facebook community standards, and I'm sure it's almost identical to YouTube, where it's completely vague. It's completely up for interpretation. The decisions are made very personally by certain people, and we're actually going to do a show coming up here soon about that. You know, it's I don't even know if you guys understand that there's an alphabet union, and these union members are literally hijacking the policy and the company, and they're making rogue decisions on who to silence, when to silence, who to shadow ban, who to remove, what content to delete, what mysteriously disappears off your channel.
I guess today was my golden ticket then, huh?
Well, again, dude, again, you know, I know what you do on Facebook. Now, see, one of our first, shows together, I had stated that he has no experience or not, he's not into podcasting or anything on YouTube. That's not saying that he's not active on other platforms like TikTok or whatever, or Facebook. But I do know the following that you had. I know that, what a big Trump supporter you are. I know the type of information you put up. And again, I can't underline this enough. If the person you're listening to or the channel you're listening to, if they are not shadow banned by now, or they're not completely removed, and there's other, avenues that you have to go down to listen to content, then they are not giving you worthy information. They're not telling you anything new. There's nothing new under the sun. And again, some of these people are also part of the full spectrum dominance, which is part of the Hegelian dialectic. And the full spectrum is we're going to tell you this, 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 and this. We're not going to tell you this and this, but we're going to control the outcome. We're going to control the flow of information. It's complete control of all sides of the sphere, all sides of the cube. So, again, you got to be really careful of who you're getting information from today, because they are removing all of the voices of truth. They're removing voices of unity. They're removing voices of opposition to this communist overthrow and the demoralization of Americans. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I didn't believe it. Not for 1 second did I ever think that the following that I had would, I don't know, draw the attention.
No, I knew it. I didn't want to say it when I really looked, about a few weeks ago, I was really poking around, because I don't use Facebook. I log in maybe once every 6 months, but when I seen the following and the type of groups and the data and everything and the memes, and I knew you were on borrowed time then, because they cannot allow that level of truth out. They cannot allow that to continue, because they're ending it all, dude. They're ending it all. We're the last generation.
I kind of got the idea that it was possible. I didn't kind of get the idea. I was shown the fact that it was possible whenever they decided to delete a sitting president's account.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, he's well known, and they just don't like that guy. So, but I'm not no one on that kind of stature of fame or anything. I shouldn't really have to worry about it. But fucking here it is. Well, and the worst part about it is, if you could go down a little bit on this page.
Yeah, let me scroll down here for the folks.
Right there.
Okay.
They ask you to take the steps to see why you were banned or whatnot, and then right there, we cannot review the decision to disable your account. Your Facebook was disabled because it was not following our community standards. This decision can't be reversed. This is strike 1, 2, and 3. So with no warning.
No warning, right? You did say that.
I never got any notification through Facebook saying, "Hey, you might want to take a look at the content that you're putting out. Maybe try to address it this way," or anything. No warning. Hey, you're coming. No warning at all. It was just, hey, check this out. Try to log in because we took your shit.
Right. Well, I gave you my opinion on that too. I've talked about this for years. The fact that some of these trolls on here somehow want to either they're dummies and they don't understand the way this works and the way technology works and the internet itself, the internet protocol itself. They don't get it. But I said there's really no anonymity. There's no such thing as anonymity on the internet. And when you told me the one part where they wanted you to log in from a computer,
right?
I was like, why? In my mind, but I'm thinking like, oh, they wanted to log your IP address. They wanted to log your, geocache location. They wanted to maybe log all your cookies real quick to see what you're into. They wanted to get one last data dump off of you or a computer in your house because they know you're not coming back after this. So they wanted to make sure good and fine they had as much data on you and identification information as possible. But I think you said you didn't use a computer. Did you? You used your phone?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta out. They're smart, but they ain't that smart.
Well, here's the thing, though, dude. Like, okay, maybe they're not gonna get your IP address or your MAC address from your desktop computer or whatever, but they absolutely will be able to store your network information, your MAC identifiers on your network device inside of your phone. There are a lot. It's your social security number. I mean, everybody has a Mac device that they get onto the internet with. And I've said this before. I mean, if you're going to troll hard, once they move into ID 2020, 21, ID 2030, when it's literally your thumbprint is what's going to enable you to get to the internet. And to have a voice on the internet, you're going to have to be regulated by the FCC. I've been saying this for 4 or 5 years now, and we are on the way. They are disseminating everybody that is not part of this plan. So here it is. Again, totally disabled, totally removed, totally silenced. No warning, no chance at all. Right here it says, we cannot review the decision. Where's that at? Yeah, right here. We cannot review the decision to disable your account. Your Facebook account was disabled because it did not Now you're an it. Because it did not. So dumb. Because
but like shows no example of what it was that no example of the straw that broke the camel's back.
Here's the example, dude.
Let me see. I'm in quadrant 1871211. Let me do a broad keyword search. Let me push my glasses up here. Look at this. Is that a assault rifle? Oh my goodness. Oh, he has a Trump shirt on. Oh, Mayday. Manager, supervisor, we have to get this account disabled.
What's the problem?
Just because it hurt my feelings and I feel like I'm not able to be comfortable in my safe space cubicle.
Oh, go ahead and delete it. You have full control over it.
Thank you.
Basically.
I mean, no, no explanation, no reasoning, no nothing. But does that surprise you, dude? Because let's take a look at this here real quick. Hey, let me pull this over. Here we go. Oh, didn't want to do that. Let's see here. The New York Times. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Let's see here. Let me minimize this.
Look at this fucking shit. They're literally telling you critical thinking isn't helping. They're literally telling you, stop researching. Stop thinking for yourself.
Didn't I tell you that whenever I came on, like the first time? They don't want you thinking for yourself.
No, they don't, dude. They don't. They want groupthink. They want, they want one single hive mind. They especially want that for black folks, and they're wanting that for people of all cognitive age, I should say. They want groupthink. They want, actually, dude, what it's called, there's a name for it. And the communists, they're great. They're great at coming up with control mechanisms and propaganda. But it's called the 100th monkey syndrome. There's actually a name for it. Again, part of the Hegelian dialectic. But the 100th monkey syndrome, basically, to put it in a nutshell, it's like, say you have a monkey and he's in say, I don't know, South Australia, and he learns a task. He learns how to, for the first time, let's say, he learns how to peel a banana and eat the banana and understand that it's delicious. And then he goes and searches for other bananas. The 100th monkey syndrome indicates that eventually and quite quickly, other monkeys all around the world will also learn to go find bananas, peel bananas, eat bananas because they're delicious and nutritious. It's sort of like a species internet. It's like and I've talked about this before, about the morphogenic resonance, the collective intelligence. And that's what's so dangerous about media, dude. That's why I harp on media, and Medea, the enchantress. It's literally who you are. It's who we are becoming, and it's who they want us to be. They want single group think. They want communism. That's what it is. Just like in China. And this is actually a whole other show. This is all. But let me, the morphogenic resonance, in case you don't know what that is. If I would show you a 150-foot tall, and I've talked about this before on Covert Radio, but if I would show you a 150-foot tall oak tree and show you the tiny little oak tree seed that 150-foot oak tree grew from, the most logical question or critical question you could maybe come up with is, how did that little seed learn to grow to a 150-foot tall oak tree? How is this even possible? There's a theory out there called the morphogenic resonance. It's a collective intelligence network that is manifest through the ether, which the ether used to be the fifth element. They've talked about it, but it's been removed from our indoctrination, our education. But it basically states that little seed, it's only programmed with enough information to absorb nutrients and water and poke up through the soil. The second it pokes up through the soil, the morphogenic field, the morphogenic resonance takes over, and that little seedling is programmed through the ether on where to grow, how to grow, and the sunlight and everything involved in our ecosystem is then part of the morphogenic system. And again, that's what they want for humans, dude. That's what communism is. That's truly what communism is. There was a study they did years ago of how rats react to a cat. And again, this is sort of in line with communism and the 100th monkey syndrome, but there was a study of how rats react to cats. And I'm talking like free range rats that live in burrows, and these aren't the ones that live in the bottom of a dumpster, and I'm talking about free range rats, completely wild, not domesticated whatsoever. But there was a study done how they respond to cats. Or maybe how they would respond to how cats smell. Like the rats would pick up the scent of the cat. But here's exactly what they do, dude. A rat, as soon as they see a cat, again, nobody told them to fear cats. Nobody ever said this. Right. Is this part of the morphogenic field? But nobody ever told a wild rat, that you must fear a cat. They automatically, instinctively know to fear that cat. So what they do is they run back to their nest or their burrow, wherever they're living, and they stick their nose out of their little hole, their little nest, and they scream for 48 hours straight. Now, again, this is ultrasonic, so you're not going to be standing in a field and hear, you're not going to hear it. You'd have to record it and slow it down, but they scream for 48 hours straight. Which, to break that down, it's basically like you or I screaming for 3 months straight. Because, you know, that's considering the lifespan of a rat. They only live about 2 or 3 years. But
Becoming a liberal, huh?
But here's what happens, dude. While the rat is screaming, what they're doing is they're signaling to all the other rats to stay indoors, stay inside, stay in the burrows, do not go anywhere.
Why does it like coincide with
Exactly,
liberals for the
dude.
last 4 years?
Exactly, dude. Exactly. And why does it coincide with the lockdown? Stay inside, rat. Stay inside your burrow, rat. Don't go anywhere, rat. We have other rats screaming. And the ones who are being heard, oh my God, I just had massive deja vu. Oh my God, dude. I just had massive deja vu. Wow. Holy wow. I can't believe it. But this is, dude, my heart's racing right now.
What dimension did we just come back from?
Oh my God, dude. Like, it's unreal. I mean, I'm look, you could see the goose pimples on my arm, man. My hair's standing up. But it is signaling the rat screaming signals all the other rats to stay in. There's a threat. There's a threat outside. And what these communist controllers are doing are silencing our voice. They're not allowing us to scream and warn and scream and warn. What they are doing, however, is they're trying to drown our voices out and replace it with, everything's fine. Here, watch this crazy communist dance show or whatever it is, The Masked Singer, and you know, like all these mind-numbing, just pointless shows, like People Password and these game shows and these stupid shows like Jersey, like it's just all mind-numbing garbage while they're selling you their products and numbing your brains, destroying the humanity that's left inside of us. There's no boundaries anymore, dude.
None at all.
And I could talk about this till I'm blue in the face. But they are they are stopping us from alerting our people. They're stopping us from alerting our species, our human counterparts, that there's a threat right outside. It's right outside.
And it's the one you're supposed to trust.
Exactly. Exactly. And now, dude, they've done tests on this. Rats hate hearing that sound. They all their blood pressure goes up, their heart rates goes up. Lab rats, I'm saying now, when they've done studies on them, they hate hearing that sound. They hate it because they know what it means. Even if there's no cat around, and they still play that in a lab, if you play that ultrasonic sound, they still know to stay put. They know to burrow. They know not to go anywhere. There's a threat outside. There's a threat outside. I mean, this only further elicits the fact that only intelligent people listen to Covert Radio. I have been screaming for 5 years, going on 5 years. In March, it'll be 5 years. The Covert Radio, after banning, shadow banning, people trying to get my channel taken down. We're being told to stay in our burrows. We're being told to be afraid. The ultrasonic scream is the absolute equivalent to the modern day media. Mm-hmm. And they don't need ultrasonics, but they do use tricks, dude. They use
media.
Exactly. Do you want me to do it for the 100th time? We are farmers. How do you know that? How do you...
I was programmed.
Dude, I don't know if I did that on one of our 2 shows or not, but I bring that up. I'll play "We Are Farmers" and then it's cut off.
Yeah.
And then they're in their heads, everybody listening, it's like bum 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 bum. How do you know that though?
Time in front of a television sitting down, soaking in all the program.
Right. Dude, and it's psychological programming, the flicker rate and everything that the Black Mirror gives us. Dude, the other day, again, I was at Walmart, and this dude...
Camp.
Yeah, I don't wear a mask, you know that, but
Right.
there was...
Don't need to.
There was a guy that was on a phone, and he was talking to a couple other people. He didn't have a mask on, and this woman... For some reason, nobody ever comes up to me, but she went up to him. She was a worker, and she's like, Sir, can you put your mask on, please? And he got pissed, dude. He first he was on the phone, and she interrupted him. And he was like, look, I can't breathe without I can't breathe. I have COPD. I can't breathe with those masks on. She didn't say anything. She just, kind of gave a huff and turned around. I'm like 10 feet away from this all going down, and she walks past me, and she's like, well, you're going to have a really hard time breathing when you're dying of COVID.
Dude, I know what it's like. I don't wear masks. They don't do anything. All a mask is that, first off, we were told N95 masks. They don't do anything. They stop something, but it ain't. It's not going to stop a virus.
No, it don't even stop sawdust, dude.
Like
but if we keep talking about that, they're going to take my channel down.
I wouldn't doubt it, man. They take my face.
No, it's true. Yeah, I mean, here we are. Why are we silenced?
Every time I go into Walmart, during the day, like earlier hours, if it's closer to closing time and they don't have this one old guy standing by the door counting everybody. Sir, you need a mask. I'm like, no, I don't. I can't wear one. I have medical reasons why. First time I did it, he fought back with me a couple times. He's like, well, you need to put it. I'm like, no, I can't. So another time I do it. Go in, sir, you need to put on a mask. I'm like, sir, I have medical reasons why I can't wear a mask. Well, you need to start carrying a card telling me why. I'm like, what? I'm like, first off, this is Walmart. This is a public place.
Right.
It's open to the public. This isn't Sam's Club where you got to show a member's card. This is open to the public. And you're not, I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand you guys have a pharmacy, but I'm here to buy shit paper, clothes, and whatever else.
Right.
You do not have the right to ask me to show any medical information.
Well, you're automatically... See, that's the crazy part about this programming, dude, because you're automatically supposed to be so petrified and afraid before you even walk out of your house. I mean, they're saying now to wear 2 or 3 masks, right?
2 or 3 masks. I've seen, let's just put on more masks. Like,
listen, dude, see, this is a little known secret, and nobody... I mean, I think it's starting to really come out onto the table because there's really nowhere for anybody to hide at this point. But a little known secret is for many, many decades, the communist system, because let's make no mistake about it. That is where we're going. This is what we're being trained for. This is why all other voices other than the state's voice is being silenced. But the communist system is very much admired by a lot of people in control.
Why wouldn't it be?
Especially intellectuals, because exactly, dude. It's a serf system where people down here, we will be... That's what these rolling blackouts are. Wait till all this comes out with, the executive orders and the stopping of coal-fired plants. We know personally how it's going with the shutting down the Keystone Pipeline. 11,000 jobs vanish in one freaking day because of a senile old man. But let's not pull any punches. This is Obama 2.0. These are the same people. They had 4 years off. That's all they had. We had an 8-year run of Biden, Obama. They've had 4 years off. And now we're going right back into another 8 years. There will not be an America by the next election. Mark my words. So all of you idiots out there that are like, Trumpy is coming back. Trumpy is going to save us. We have to save ourselves. And dude, no offense, because I know you love Trump, but what I know you love is the nationalism, the patriotism that he evoked.
Right.
There was nobody out there saying what he said. That's why he was able to garner such a following. But I wish to God that people would understand we need a completely new political party. Yeah. We need the common party, and we need one of us to be elected to save the morality in this country, the jobs in this country, and anything else worth saving. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We all want the same things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dude, I'm a big buff with World War II, and I've talked a lot about that across several of my channels. But, you know, again, there's nothing new under the sun. There is nothing new under the sun. And this all happened not too long ago at all. It wasn't that long ago at all. The Nazis used censorship as well. They used censorship as well. And there wasn't any, there wasn't any means like the internet or AM radio or, independent media channels or outlets to counter what the Nazis were doing. They wanted people to support the dictatorship. They wanted people to idolize the Nazi ideals. And they did this. They were able to do. They got a whole entire country and other parts of the world, entire populations, to get on board with accomplishing these goals that the Nazis had and Hitler had. Why? Because they were able to control all forms of communication. And they were able to do that through censorship and propaganda. I've talked plenty of times about Joseph Goebbels on this channel. And to this day, a lot of his propaganda techniques are used in industry and media and, the control and flow of information. And I'm talking about everything at this point, including newspapers, magazines. It's all a dying format, but they still control it.
Right.
Books, art, theater, music, movies, it's all radio. They control every aspect of it now. They started in 1933 when they came to power, and through the Constitution, the German Constitution, they guaranteed freedom of speech, freedom of the press. Don't we already have freedom of speech?
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't we already have freedom of the press?
You would think.
But these are being abolished every single day, dude. You were just silenced. Your civil rights have been trampled on. Your constitutional rights have been and nobody is saying anything about it, because I gotta play my Grand Theft Auto and go to the dispensary and pay $100 for 2 grams of weaponized dope so I can sit at home with my mouth hanging open in a virtual reality world that isn't real, while the entire country, my family, my children, my parents are being turned into enemies of the state while communism takes control of America.
Thanks.
Any criticism of the Nazi Party, any criticism, we're talking internment, we're talking concentration camps, and you can go on about the Jews and whatever. But there was a lot of proof that people who didn't idolize the Nazi Party were also put into camps as well. And guess where else they do that, dude? Guess where else they do that? Even today, they do that in China. China Joe's buddies, they do. And I'm talking Soviets have done it as well in the Gulag. Every video Covert Radio does. I want you to look in the description right now. Go ahead, I'll wait. Go ahead, scroll down. See that? Click that little button. Yeah. Look at that. And how we burned in the camps, later thinking. What would life have been like if we would have set up defenses at the downstairs hall? Read that. I put it in every one of my videos in the description. That is a excerpt from the Gulag Archipelago, written by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. You want to know what it was like? While he was sitting in a Soviet gulag, thinking about this book, he had most of it committed to memory. That's the thoughts he had. It was regret. Regret. While he sat in a prison camp, while he sat in Siberia, starving and people around him dying. He sat there and thought, what if we would have just did something? Mm-hmm. Instead of being afraid of every bang of the downstairs door or hall or steps on the stair, what if we would have set up an ambush of 5 or 10 men with anything we could get, axe handles, hammers, whatever, and we would have started taking them out instead of waiting for contact tracers to show up at your house, waiting until you are silenced off of Facebook, waiting until your job is taken out of the country. Mm-hmm. What are you waiting for?
They're too comfortable.
Exactly, dude.
Government gives you what you want.
Exactly.
So
shut up, slave.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sit back.
Right.
Do whatever.
Exactly.
See, like, everyone was up in row about what happened on the day that the quote-unquote Trump supporters stormed the Capitol. That's so un-American. It's like, not really. Look back to how America came about. Enough people said, you know what? We're not going to follow what you want anymore. We're going to make our own rules, make us our own thing. And they stood up. Problem is, back then, people had enough balls and gall to do it.
Right, because they weren't consumed with weed, they weren't consumed with video games, they weren't consumed with television and the internet, and especially pornography, mm-hmm. which I have talked about 100 times here, that it is a weapon. It is to keep men weak. It's weakening every aspect of your life, sir. Every aspect. It's weakening your character. It's weakening your morality. And because of all of this, you vibrate at a lower frequency. This is a direct result of you adopting an inauthentic mode of behavioral programming. You are becoming somebody you were never meant to be. You don't think this weaponized dope you're buying at the dispensary is causing irreversible brain damage to you? You don't think that these things they're trying to push out into this mysterious thing that has to exist somewhere, I guess so, even though there's so much proof that Dr. Fauci is a prophet? He's a prophet, dude. You know that, right? He's a prophet. He's a prophet. He's a prophet, dude. He listen, YouTube, I'm being serious. Dr. Fauci is a prophet because he was able to correctly predict that during the Trump administration there will be a pandemic declared. He predicted that several years prior. Now, I mean, no, it has nothing to do with him being part of the vaccine owner. It has nothing to do with him owning the derivatives. It has nothing to do with any of that. He is a prophet. He's a prophet.
Prophet, he's nuts. Like, come on.
And the propaganda led by the Ministry of CNN, the Ministry of Truth, the Ministry of Propaganda. Actually, the Nazis called it the Ministry of Enlightenment and Propaganda. And they were glorifying Adolf Hitler, and they would use his image on postcards. Ideally, what they did with Obama. Mm-hmm. what they did with Hitler is exactly what I can still see in my mind. The 2 or 3 color Obama posters.
Hope.
Right, hope.
Change.
Right. Yeah, everybody's so doped up on hopeinium, dude. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Trump is the biggest purveyor of hopeinium. Hopium, or whatever you want to call it. Hopium. I'm all fact up on hopium. You know what I mean? Because Trumpy's going to come back and he's going to save America. Like, we are the ones who have to save this, our family, and, our country.
Dude, I totally see it, man. Like, he was supposed to be the guy. and through the words that he said, the actions that he was in the news taking, going around speaking to all the blue collar people, he was supposed to be the guy, make America great again. Yeah, and I bought into this shit.
Dude, so did millions and millions and millions of people. And you know what? I know what they bought into. I agree with the hopium. I agree with that. I believe these people want to make America great. They want everyone to be happy. They want to have a job. They want to have health care. They want to have safe neighborhoods and, a great infrastructure. I believe all of that, dude. But at the same time, I say this, don't tell me what you're going to do. Just do it.
Yeah, show me.
Right.
Don't talk about it, be about it. And that could go back to you were just talking about how people should have just took axe handles or whatever and stopped it. Like, you could see the American patriots and the Trump supporters and whatnot, and the media wanted to push it off as the Trump supporters are the one that took over the Capitol. And
right.
It's coming out into the news that's false.
Right. I've seen that, dude. Right.
So if you take it into account that, all right, how many people did you see on screen there that was there for Trump? A lot. Thousands upon thousands of people there. About how let's go down to the Capitol, blah, 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 take it back. Now, imagine someone being there that had leadership and I know.
They
would have let them.
Right.
Let's go down there. Let's make our voices heard. Let's get our point across. No, I'm not saying storm the Capitol. I'm not saying riot, burn down Washington, D.C. or anything. But I'm saying, question everything, but be ready for whenever there's too many patriots out there to say, oh, when the time comes, I'm ready.
Yeah, right.
I'm ready. I ain't got no problem. Listen, talk is cheap. Actions speak louder.
100%, dude. Look at this. Congressman says he's tired of playing defense against conspiracy theories and domestic extremism. A congressman who has been fighting conspiracy theories and disinformation believes that the January 6th insurrection was a turning point and that a critical mass of law enforcement and military institutions are now playing offense against right-wing extremism. Completely counter to what you just said, dude. It doesn't matter. All they needed was the optics, and they got it.
Yeah.
And I pray to God that will come out as as some sort of a plot to frame, these nationalists, these good people. I'm not saying everybody, because then they could turn. See, they covered all avenues, dude. Oh, so this cop got killed, so that's good. You know what I mean, dude? But I'm just showing the optics.
They did this kind of stuff back whenever JFK was in office. I forget what the operation or whatever it was called, but the whole reason we went to war with Cuba, it was the same thing. That it was like, let's make something happen, either a terrorist or something within the government.
Right.
And we'll go to war with Cuba. I wish I would have had it. And JFK turned that idea down.
Right. They were going to blow up a plane with a bunch of college students on it.
And he turned it down.
Yeah.
And
And blame it on Cuba and say that, McNamara was his, I think, the defense secretary, whoever cooked up that idea. And he published that idea to JFK, and I think he was fired like almost immediately.
Yeah.
McNamara, I think his name was, but yeah, they were going to fill up a plane full of college students, and they were going to go to spring break or something or whatever, but they were going to blow it up over Florida or off the coast in between Cuba, and then they were going to blame Cuba, and then that gives all Americans the grounds to, let's go destroy communism and Fidel Castro. But really, the reality is they were saying the Russians were moving into Cuba. We don't want, that level of threat 90 miles from our southernmost point. So, dude, again, this is a big chessboard to them. But we are nothing but pawns to them. And I know people are sick and tired of being a pawn.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the next event's going to be. Look how they're setting people up. These are people who care and love America, people that want the best for all Americans. This is unbelievable. Right here, Yahoo News, if you guys can see that, let me see. Oh, yeah, okay. Yahoo News reported last week that an internal report by the Department of Homeland Security said right-wing extremists were responsible for the majority of fatal domestic terrorist attacks last year. 2020, it was, dude, in Capitol Hill, the cops that were killed, the police stations that were burnt, those were all, obviously, I guess, according to the Department of Homeland Security, those were all right-wing extremists. That wasn't Antifa, dummy, dumb.
That wasn't Black Lives Matter.
No. Those
were patriots
right.
burning down their country so they could rebuild.
Yes, they were removing all of the history of America, the statues. They were burning police stations down. They were murdering cops. They were doing unthinkable acts of fatal domestic terrorist attacks.
Like, come on, man. Like,
top DHS officials and FBI Director Christopher Wray said last year that the biggest domestic terror threat came from right-wing extremists. Mark my words, and I want you to listen very closely. This is all a setup to what's about to happen in the next 60 to 90 days. They are going to continue to demonize, set up, false flag, demonize, set up, false flag, demonize, set up, false flag, until wearing a Trump hat, mentioning Trump, or wearing a Trump shirt
or being a patriot
is going to get you killed.
Being a patriot,
right? Well, see, it's all the optics, dude.
Because like this, it just doesn't. How dumb are you? Like, this is
dumb, dude.
This is
dumb.
From DHS. We're gonna put out an article that says it was right wing extremist, but we all have the technology and it's been recorded.
No. I know. No. Dude, I know what you're saying.
So like, how are what new movie or whatever are you gonna pump us in to make us believe it?
Exactly, dude. Exactly. They have this started 20 years ago. This started a couple decades ago, dude. These people think in decades. They don't think in days or years. They think in decades. So all of the games, the military games, we've talked about this before, the siege on Washington, D.C., White House down, like all of these extremists, the zombie movies. This is all programming to bring us to the exact point we're right now. You're 100% right, dude. Anybody can verify information. They can look into information. They can verify anything we said and see if it's true or not, which I have no desire to mislead or lie to anybody. Every word I've said can be verified 10 times. Not once, not twice. It's not opinion. But that people were too consumed, dude. They're consumed with the bread and circus. That's what the Romans called it. Bread and circus. Give them death, they'll love you for that. Give them the gladiatory games for 30, 60, 80 days of murder, people getting maimed in the street, in the Colosseum, the thieves. This is also going to happen in America, dude. This is coming. They're demonizing the Christians. They're demonizing the nationalists, the people. They're making it all like it's almost like this, dude. Think of it like this. And everybody listening, think of it like this. When I say the word Walmart, what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think FEMA camp.
I know. Okay, so let me.
You asked me.
Yeah, let me look. Let me take it from this angle. Remove about 30 IQ points.
Okay.
And I'll play a couple rap songs you can listen to, like that go like a. Okay, listen to that. Smoke weaponized weed for about till you're retarded, basically. And now, when you think of Walmart, what do you think of?
I'm gonna buy me some food.
What else?
They got new phones.
Oh yeah, they got that new iPhone joint. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh shoot, that new Xbox and PlayStation just came out.
Well, you gotta get some kicks, cuz. You gotta get some shoes or what?
Oh yeah.
You got shoes. You got food. Right, you got that some couple new few light bulbs. You want to get tires for your car. You want to get a fishing pole, and
Dude,
let's
I can
see.
get anything there.
You can get a sewing machine. You can get new silverware. You can get medicine.
Wait, what's this online? Dude, I could order a coffin from Walmart online.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So that's my point. When I say the word Walmart, your mind immediately is encompassed with everything that makes Walmart. Automotive, tires, clothes, jewelry, pens, pencils, games, TVs, food, cleaning, dog toys, dog clothes, bathing suits, shoes, on and on and on and on and on and on and on. That's what they're doing with the word extremist or white male or right wing or nationalist. When you say that word, they're trying to Walmart all of us into a group that is demonized. So all you, and really, dude, the main word is Trump.
Yeah.
So when you say Trump, they're trying to get people to think in racist, dangerous, hick, southerner.
Straight white male.
Right. Nazi, Confederate, this is all the optics. And they made sure they had that idiot there waving a Confederate flag in the Capitol Dome on January the 6th.
I just got into an article about this kind of stuff. It drives me crazy.
Dude, there's so much to talk about, man. And the sad part is hardly anybody's going to hear this.
I know. Somebody's going to hear it.
Somebody will, and I hope they share it, and I hope, because really, again, I hate to keep bringing, but I love World War II. I love history. But this is really what they're doing, like how you were silenced today off Facebook.
Can't believe it.
Your book was burned, basically, essentially. Your book with all your pictures, all of your words, every, thought you might have had or shared out with people. Not every, but everything on Facebook.
Ellie, what you did. Your book was burned.
Your book was burned. And on May 10th, 1933, started a banner day for the Nazi regime, and that was called the Nazi book burnings. During the spring of 1933, there was a bunch of Nazi university students Oh, geez, and that's just like all the universities that have been infiltrated by the communists. You cannot go to any college in this country without being taught that the founding fathers were racist, that white men are racist, that white privilege has to end, that white people should kill themselves.
They're changing the names of the schools now.
Right, dude. That's the same thing the Nazis did. In the university students, the organizations, the professors, even the librarians, they all put together a long list of books that they thought were un-German. And these were books that included Jewish authors, people that were even non-Jewish. You know, like I said, it wasn't just about targeting Jewish people, because there was a lot of non-Jewish authors on that list. But the key thing is this. These are all ideals that conflicted with the Nazi ideals. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, what does that sound like? When you're not here showing cat videos, or saying how great Pappy Joe is, or saying how much you hate black women, or saying that you want to, I'm a woman trapped in a man's body. Sometimes I get the menstrual cramps real hard. If you're not up here saying that, then your ideals conflict with the Nazi ideals. And in 1933, they would burn your book. In 2021, they burn your channel. They burn your Facebook. Mm-hmm. The Nazis started their Nazi book burnings on the night of May 10th, 1933. And they all marched by torchlight in these nighttime parades. They were singing chants. They were, having huge bonfires. And in these bonfires, they would just toss handfuls of books, handfuls of books, handfuls of books. And on that one night, on May 10th, 1933, there was more than 25,000 books that were burned.
Unbelievable.
But yet, you're a Nazi, dude. You're a Nazi because you believe you have a Trump shirt on. You're the Nazi. They are burning our books, and they just burned his Facebook. They literally just burned it.
I don't know what I should do. Like, should I just embrace it and go get some SS tattoos? Then?
Right. Well, I'm. Dude, you don't get me started, because then this is when it gets flagged. If people even made it this far, if we didn't get flagged yet. But again, they're weakening your character, dude. They're weakening our morality. They're trying to make you feel like you're hopeless. They're trying to make you feel that there's no way out of this, that you might as well stop talking. You may as well stop fighting. You're never going to beat us. We control everything. We control the courts. We control the media. We control everything. The radio, the music, the propaganda, the television. We control it all. And this is behavioral programming. Mm-hmm. Because if you do not come on board with this authoritarianism or this Nazi-style ideological belief system, you will be dealt with. They are openly saying this now.
They're openly doing shit about it. I mean, I did not think my Facebook would be taken away.
Here you go, dude. This is where we're at in 2021. This is where we're at.
The Capitol Police.
Here, let me play this for you guys.
The Capitol Police has decided to keep the fence with the barbed wire up permanently.
Yep.
Forever around the Capitol building.
I'm not surprised. You're surprised by that?
They're also planning to keep 5,000 National Guardsmen patrolling Washington, D.C. They said through mid-March. I'm sure
forever.
I'm sure come mid-March, it'll be to mid-July, and then mid-July we'll just forget, and it'll just be part of being in D.C.
Surprised by that?
They're also permanently, forever around the Capitol with the barbed wire.
I'm going to keep rewinding this. Listen.
Up permanently, forever around
Correct.
the Capitol building.
I'm not surprised. You're surprised by that?
They're also planning to keep 5,000 National Guardsmen patrolling Washington, D.C. They said through mid-March.
We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well funded.
That guy sounds real familiar.
Does sound very, very familiar. Obama 2.0.
I'm not surprised. You're surprised by that?
They're also planning to keep 5,000 National Guardsmen patrolling Washington, D.C. They said through mid-March. I'm sure
Forever.
I'm sure come mid-March,
Forever.
it'll be to mid-July, and then
Correct.
mid-July
Yep.
we'll just forget, and it'll just be part of being in
Right.
D.C. When
Continue to
the Capitol
rely
was being
only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well funded. Only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful.
Clapping it.
Yeah, he's not an actor. Dude, you know the grueling process. You see where my mouse is moving here?
Mm-hmm.
The grueling process that they cherry pick each individual, and both political sides are guilty of this. They cherry pick each individual person that sits within eyeshot of whoever's at that podium, dude. If you look at Trump stuff, he'll have black people behind him. You look at Biden stuff, he'll have black women behind him. You look at Obama, he'll have white men who are veterans of this country. We love Obama. And, you know, I don't think nobody knew what a beast he was or what he would unleash on America. I really don't believe anybody saw Pol Pot coming. I mean, Obama. And again, this is minimum 4 more years of Obama 2.0. But I want this to sink deeply into you. Do you guys remember this from what, 8-10 years ago?
We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well funded.
And they got that. They have BLM, who have hundreds of millions of dollars. They have Antifa, who have hundreds of millions of dollars. Now they have a permanent army surrounding their haven of National Guardsmen.
Safe haven.
Right like these guys here say.
Police has decided to keep the fence with the barbed wire up permanently. Forever around the
added a
Capitol
second
building.
I'm not surprised. You're surprised by that?
Say that again.
They added a second fence too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything, dude. I try to stay as far away from that level of propaganda as physically possible. Here, let me finish this off.
They're also planning to keep 5,000 National Guardsmen patrolling Washington, D.C. They said through mid-March. I'm sure
Forever.
I'm sure come mid-March,
Forever.
it'll be to mid-July, and then
Correct.
mid-July
Yep.
we'll just forget, and it'll just be part of being in
Right.
D.C.
You know, dude, that's just like we need you to stay in for 15 days to stop the curve, to flatten
the curve.
flatten the curve. 15 days.
Here we are, 12 plus months later.
Exactly. Over a year later, here we are.
When the Capitol was being stormed, we were watching it on TV, and I said, this is going to be amazing for the Democrats.
That's why you thought the Democrats even fucking planned it.
I never said I think they planned it. I said I think they welcomed it with open arms.
They're making it like it's temporary purposely so people don't
Yes.
we're like, are you fucking kidding me? Don't do it. They'd say, okay, it's temporary, so we get comfortable and fat watching
We've
TV.
talked about this. It's like the frog boiling in water.
Correct.
Like, it slowly
that's
rises.
exactly what
and
it-
Oh, hey, I talked about that the other day. Speaking of that, let me see here. Do you guys remember this right here? You guys remember this?
Happening now in downtown Miami, Black Hawk choppers soaring through the night sky, but this is only a drill. My team's Mike Marza has some pictures for us explaining what's going on. Mike?
Still, if you've seen one of these drills, it really is like a scene out of one of those action movies, choppers stalking the sky of downtown Miami and the like. Let me show you what's happening right in the shadow of the Adrian Arch Center Police right now have blocked off Biscayne Boulevard, but we believe that is largely because the Miami Heat game is about to be let out at the AAA, which is nearby. But actually, you know what, Nick, if you take a look, swing back over here. This may be involved in this training or not. Again, let me tell you what all of this is that we know of. It's a joint military training exercise involving local police, also military. They're doing some training exercises partly to meet some of the requirements that they have to do, also to prepare for the military side for some overseas drills, and also so they can make sure that all of their equipment is in check. And Nick, let's swing back around and show you the sky, because we've been hearing some blades of choppers in the distance. People up on the balconies have been taking some video of this. Let's show you the first piece of video as someone shot some video of some of these choppers, military-style choppers, flying over 395 in downtown. This was last night. They shot all of this video. Now, the sight is impressive, but just imagine if you could hear some of the activity that was happening here. Let's take a listen to the second piece of video.
Holy
All right, so some blank rounds of gunfire pinging off the high-rises here in downtown Miami. A photographer actually from Atlanta doing some work here in the Brickell area, also in downtown. He had no idea what was happening, knew nothing of this drill, and that's what he saw. Listen to what he said.
Helicopters came by and I was filming those, taking some pictures, and then I just heard all this machine gun firing, and I hit the deck. I didn't know what to expect, and it was one of the loudest things I've ever heard.
Okay, so here within the past hour or so, we saw some official boats with some lights flashing. Unclear on exactly where all of this is going down. We know it's in the greater Miami area, also Miami-Dade County, but police being pretty vague about where exactly they're doing all of this and also for how long. They do say that public safety is their #1 priority, so that's why you see a lot of this activity at night, and they want us to tell you that, again, it is just a military training exercise. But hey, if you happen to see some of this stuff going down, take some video, also take some pictures and send it our way. Send it to 7@WSVN.com. We want you to be safe while doing it. Live in downtown Miami, Mike Marza, 7 News, Night Team.
There you go, dude. What are they training for?
Who knows? Turn in your guns. Turn in those high-capacity magazines, maybe.
Do you think there will be a... I mean, they're already talking about it, dude. They're already talking about... you know, the new legislation. I mean, how many executive orders has he pumped through so far?
I don't know. I lost count after like 22.
Executive order after executive order. You don't think banning assault rifles or guns is on the list? I mean, that's all they...
It's on it. I believe it's HR 127 that they're trying to ban assault-style weapons, magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, pretty much any semi-automatic weapon.
So that was in Miami. And I trust you guys are paying attention, because this is going somewhere. I want you to take a look at this.
A moment for people in Los Angeles when loud explosions rocked the night air and military helicopters descended to land on one of the city's busiest streets. Jim Murray explains what was going on.
Oh my God.
Los Angeles under attack? It sure looked that way as Black Hawk helicopters flew in formation right over downtown buildings in the pitch dark. You can even hear an explosion. Choppers landed smack in the middle of Wilshire Boulevard. Soldiers could be seen running to climb on board in this video shot by a guy out his apartment window. This is Wilshire Boulevard, one of LA's busiest and most famous streets, where people were left in a panic wondering what the heck was going on around 9 o'clock Monday night. It sure sounded like an attack, but it turns out it was just a drill. Social media erupted. "This did not look like a drill at all," went one tweet. And this, "You got a generation of post 9/11 folks frantically refreshing to find out if there's a need for us to book it out of town.
I was very terrified. We had to step away from the window because we thought we were going to get blown up.
The U.S. Army did send out a media advisory about the drill, the purpose of which was to enhance soldier skills by operating in various urban environments and settings.
For what, though? So there's, you know, the FBI has a whole city that they train in Maryland somewhere.
Dude, you're taking the words out of my mouth. I'm like, what? They have the facilities,
right?
Whether it's urban area, desert area, winter area, they have places where they do this training that it's non-interruptive of civilian life. So why?
Well, these helicopters could be seen and heard not only in downtown Los Angeles, but in the surrounding areas as well. And people we spoke with were startled to see these military aircraft maneuvering so low to the ground. It looked like a scene from a war movie, a helicopter flying low in between buildings in downtown Los Angeles.
We don't think it was much higher than the steeple of the church across the street. They were low. They were very low. Low enough where you could see inside. I'm just assuming there was like a green neon, maybe the control boards inside. That's how low they were.
Erica Gallo and Leslie Ruiz were in nearby Lincoln Heights. They saw the helicopters and say they were loud.
4 smaller helicopters in the front, but their lights were all turned off. And there was only red lights in each one of them. Then another military helicopter came in. It was much bigger.
According to the LAPD, it's all part of a U.S. Army training exercise to teach soldiers skills and how to operate in an urban environment. The department said residents could hear weapon simulations. Officials say the local terrain in Los Angeles provides the Army with unique locations and environments that service members may encounter when deployed overseas. But some people here feel they should have been warned about this.
I definitely think, it would be nice to get a heads up. Nowadays you just never know what's happening. And we were talking about, everybody has a fear, especially after 9/11 happened. When you see, helicopters or airplanes that are flying.
You shut up, pawn.
Shut your mouth. No, here's the fun part about this, dude. This was only a year or so ago that they did this, 2019 or so. So you see in every video. It was.
I just wondered if I had to run to the hills and scream out of my apartment. It's a whole new 9/11. Yeah, I just thought of 9/11.
All right.
No, it's like 9/11 all over again. Okay, so this was 2019. Guess what they're going to start talking about this year? I thought the pandemic was going to start again. I thought this was COVID all over again. I thought we were going to go down under lockdown again, or they're going to be doing this. I thought this was going to be like the right-wing extremists did in Washington. I thought that's what this was going to be. I thought this was going to be January 6th. See, they make these waypoints in our brains. They continuously drop these trauma points into our brains. And for no matter how old you are, unless you're a little kid, but I mean, you will forever, till the day you die, know what 9/11 means.
Yeah.
You will have the images, you'll have all of the repercussions. Now, this is another trauma point that they've dropped into our brains. Again, this is all behavioral programming. This is adopting an inauthentic mode of behavior. COVID, 9/11, terrorist attacks. You're either with us or you're with the terrorist. I told you guys a couple shows ago. I said the key word that they keep using over and over and over and over again is insurgents, insurgency, insurgents. That's completely on purpose. This is all behavioral programming, behavioral modification. Again, just like the book burning that they're doing, the Facebook burning, whatever you want to call it. But again, this is to turn to the Great Reset is what they've called it. They even have a name. And I'm telling you guys, that we're in deep, deep trouble. And we're actually living in, and you can tune this out right now. Go watch a movie. Go watch Netflix. Go play a game. Go get drunk. Go smoke your weed. Go live in another reality. Because this reality is being destroyed right in front of your face. And you don't understand how deep of an issue and how much trouble we're actually in. We are at a point in human history, I'm telling you, that will be studied for generations to come. Generation after generation will look back to March 3rd, 2020. And from that point on, it's going to be studied the few years that led up to World War III. What was going on with the pandemic in 2020 that led to the Great Reset? It's the reset of humanity. It's the reset of morality. And they have to silence and remove the screaming rats to warn the other rats.
Mm-hmm.
They're in your face burning books. They're in your face silencing people, removing them from social media platforms that are were advertised and promised to be public squares. Every one of them said that this will be a public forum. But now you can't even say certain words, or you're going to be in Facebook jail for 24 hours. I've seen that happen too.
I didn't even get Facebook jail. I got, you're gone.
You're gone. That's it. Bye-bye. And where do you think you're going to be in a year from now?
I don't know.
See, they're normalizing it to be in jail. You're going to be in prison.
I'll be dead.
So, all these helicopters and all this action in LA, Miami, the big cities. Dude, what did I say about a half hour ago? What do these people plan in? Decades.
Mm-hmm.
They move in decades. So this seems all so familiar. Where did we see this before?
Our star runner tonight needs no introduction. He's Ben Richards, the brutal slayer of 60 men, women, and children in the Bakersfield Massacre.
Food riot in progress. Approximately 1,500 civilians moving in.
Yankee 99er, the crowd is unarmed. Repeat, unarmed. Abort attack. Acknowledge Yankee 99er.
The hell with you.
Lieutenant Sanders, take command. Detain Richards and return to base. Acknowledge Yankee 99er. Acknowledge. Return to base. Those are innocent, unarmed people down there. Cease fire! Cease fire!
Where did we see this before? You know what I mean? We've seen the food riots.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what people are doing in Texas right now?
Losing their mind.
They're starving, dude. I talked to a buddy in Galveston, and he sent me footage of 0 items on the shelf. And I mean, we're talking not even a bag of potato chips. There's nothing. I can't believe that there aren't more people. I don't know, dude. I'll never stop. I'll never stop doing this. As long as I have a voice, I'm going to continue channel after channel after channel after channel. And I just don't understand what is so hard for you, the person listening to this right now. What is so hard for you to share this video for 1 or 2 or 3 of your friends or family members? Don't you understand the threat level that we're under right now? And I mean, I'm not even getting into the actual threat matrix, the scores that are given to people like my friend here who was just abruptly removed from Facebook. The thousands and thousands of good people that had been removed from YouTube and Facebook and all Twitter and all these other social media places. I mean, we're in a lot of trouble. And this all goes back again to the 8 years of Obama and Executive Order 13603. Executive Order 13603, which provided the nationalization of every resource in this country, from all the food, all the water, all the manufacturing, all the transportation. It's all going to be confiscated and used how the government sees fit once this really starts popping off. And they're doing all they can to demonize the only people that are going to stop them or try to stop them. Believe me, they want to disarm us first.
That's why they're working on it with that HR 127 bill.
Would you say? Is that a new car on Grand Theft Auto, bro?
No, but they're coming since they.
It's late. It's late.
Like they could. If they wanted to, they could come around and be like, all right, turn in your guns.
Exactly, dude.
But they know how difficult it could be because, like I said earlier, you have the patriots out there that are going to be like, nope, over my dead body. You ain't getting my guns. It's a Second Amendment right. You're not taking it. So you have the group that will actually fight back. So what they're doing is making those guns become illegal.
Right.
High capacity magazines illegal if it holds more than 10. They're trying to make it so that any semi-automatic firing weapon for a civilian, for you, for me, Joe Schmo down the road, if you have it and it's not registered, tax stamped, or whatever, you become a felon.
Right. So again, you're going to be guilty until proven innocent. You're 100% right. And with Executive Order 13603 that was enacted many years ago by Obama, signed it into law, it promotes the use of slave labor, which would all be under the authority of the Secretary of Labor, and that is at the behest of the president. So after you're demonized, after you're publicly shamed as some lunatic, gun-toting Trump believer, Bible thumping Christian, after you're demonized enough, because it's coming, 30 to 60 days, we're going to see boom, boom, boom happen, and it's going to have right-wing extremists written all over it. Mark my words. So once you're demonized, all of the, just don't get me started, man. I'm trying so hard to keep it clean because, for all I know, this is going down as it is, but there's no time left there's no time left, man. I can't believe that there aren't more people trying to organize, trying to get involved locally on the local level, because I'm going to tell you something. At the end of the day, the only thing that's really going to stop this is the states. The authority of the state that you live in. That is what's going to halt this out-of-control freight train communist government from literally overthrowing the country, disarming Americans, destroying the Constitution, and putting everybody that don't agree with them in FEMA camps. You don't think that's the plan, then you're an idiot and you don't understand what's happened over the last 30 years.
That's why I like kind of what's going on. I mean, not the little chat, not the problem that Texas is facing right now with the weather, not having anything. But before that happened, Texas came out and said, "Hey, you could try to take our guns, but we're going to be sovereign. Any unconstitutional thing you try to pull at us, we're not going to abide by it." So I could, admire that. But at what point are they going to back it up? What point do they not give in?
Because, dude, we're talking internment, resettlement. You know, this is already FM 3-3940 if you want to look it up. It's from the Headquarters Department of the Army. FM 3-39.40, internment and resettlement operations. And if you're listening to my voice, you should fear and also be very pissed off about what FM 3-3940 actually is and what it says. And it was originally designed to be kept a secret because really, see, that's the other behavioral modification. Nobody reads. Nobody reads. But I'm telling you that this FM 3-3940 is completely in line with the tyranny that's about to sweep across the country. And it's already started. And basically, if you want me to summarize it, the internment and resettlement, basically watered down, simply means that you will be taken from your home and you will be sent to a detention camp for an undetermined period of time. And you're going to be treated in a manner just like a prisoner. I mean, there's no law that can help you. There's no judge that's going to help you. There's no attorney. There's no due process. That's what we just watched all these military drills are. This is part of the red list. Dude, should I even get into this? The red list, the blue list. Should I even get in or save it for another show?
I mean, we could save it for another show, dude. They're not ready. We're going to need like almost a whole show just for that.
I mean, there's no doubt that, again, I've talked about this before with the shutdown Walmarts and the NDAA's indefinite detention. And that's exactly what all of this propaganda is leading to. Because when there are people on trains or being carted or taken out of their homes by contact tracers. What was that? They're here.
I'm ready.
No, it'll be at 4 a.m, dude. That's what the red list is. It starts at 4 a.m.
I'm up at 4 a.m.
That's why they train at night. That's what all of those trainings were and why they trained at night, because
I'm up at 4 a.m. I'm locked. I'm ready to go.
The red list removal and execution starts at 4 a.m. Listen, I gave you guys a lot to think about. My buddy here gave you guys even more data and information to think about. Every hour, this is getting worse and worse and worse. And if you're watching movies and indulging in fast food and all these apps that'll bring food that's killing you right to your house, and snacks and drinking and drugs, and you got everything you need. You got it all right there. Your games, your Netflix, your television, your 170-inch flat screen Black Mirror. What do you think those people in Texas went through in the last week? There's no 170-inch Black Mirror for them to look into. There were people literally freezing to death.
Mm-hmm.
Literally freezing to death. People literally dying from carbon monoxide because they did not have the information enough to be prepared for what's coming. This is where you're going to get it. This is Covert Radio. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank my buddy for doing another show and sharing with all of us that his book has been burned, just like the Nazis did in 1933. If you want to support this type of media, I have a Patreon. The link will be in the description. Please read the excerpt from the Stolzennissen book, The Gulag Archipelago. It'll be right in the description. Read that. It'll only take you 60 seconds, if that. Again, that was written by a guy who shoulda, woulda, coulda, while he was being tortured and starved to death in a gulag in Siberia. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. We can't and we don't have time for woulda, coulda, shoulda, because these people are not playing around. This is a demonic spirit. This is pure evil. And there is never, ever, ever been a time in history where the communists have not felt that they are competing with God. That's why all of the tech, that's why the transhumanism, that's why the life extension, and, you know, all of the wearable tech and the implants. And actually, we could have got into that because we have a few clips, but we'll save that for another show. But there has never been a time in history where the communists have not thought that they were competing with God or they were God. And if you don't believe me, just look at the Chinese, where you will literally be put to death for not praising the state, the Communist Party. Look at North Korea. It's not God that created any of this. It's the Un dynasty that created the sun and the mountains and the moon and the water. That is what they teach their people. They don't know any better. But there has never been a time that the communist has ever accepted a creation such as this. Your humanity is at stake. And you think I'm kidding, but you will find the truth. Sooner or later.
Just hope it ain't too late.
Exactly.
If I could give anything at the end of this show that you could kind of take to the bank, question everything.
Everything.
Don't take anything at face value. No matter who it comes from, if it comes from the most, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the most, I don't want to say valuable, but the most credible source. I don't care who it is. Question it. Research. Find the truth in it.
Yes, while you can. I mean, that's the other part of this. While there's still an internet, while every book hasn't been burnt yet.
The sky is green.
All of America's firewalls have been breached. Every protection we've had. And now they're breaching your mind. They've been breaching your mind, your children's mind, and your body. And they want to embed a digital chip inside of you. As written in Revelations, the mark of the beast. The American people, you listening to my voice, this is a well planned out, well thought out, decades long tyrannical future that these people have planned. They will be the demigods controlling the mass population. It's their planet. They hate God. You have no options left at this point. There are no options left. You either must acquiesce or you're going to fight. Voting is meaningless. Trumpy is pointless. And even if this voting fraud wasn't rampant, even if, we're still forced to select people that is not part of our tribe. Mm-hmm. These are people they picked. You saw who Trump really worked for. And you see who Biden works for. Neither one of them work for us. Under this system, nothing is ever going to change if we don't change it. I'm Covert Radio. Check out the Patreon. We have a new show coming up here real soon. We're going to get into the deep, deep end of this and the 4 a.m. when they come kicking our door. And if you're on that red list,
I'll be ready.
Thanks again, bud, for doing this tonight. You guys take care. Have a good day.